Long-term financial goals might be intimidating when we're just starting out on our path to financial independence. Early retirement with financial independence may be easier if your financial freedom goals are narrower and more reachable. With this, we stay on track and are more enthusiastic about the whole process. To begin chipping away at this massive task, we must first get over the first hurdle. Financial independence proponents argue for early retirement. Investing, debt management, and retirement planning are all part of the next level of life. Subscribe to my YouTube account so you will be the first to know when the new videos are added. Hey, let's talk stages of financial independence. Schools can possibly teach us all we need to know about money. Before moving on to levels 5 and 6 of financial security, also known as financial independence from one's employment, one must first achieve financial stability level 3, debt freedom for costing. Other sources, however, refer to the levels as follow. However, in order to be termed financially independent, a person's expenditures must exceed his or her income. Food, light, and shelter are all the things you may be able to have from your parents if you are a youngster without any debt. The term debt independence may be used to describe this third level of financial stability in a variety of ways. As long as you have an emergency reserve, you're seen as financially secure. According to whom you ask, this could mean a variety of things. Paying off all your debt, save your mortgage and credit card bills is a priority for some, while paying off both your mortgage and your student loans is a higher priority for others. Everyone's ultimate goal, though, is to be debt-free. Paying for both a college degree and a car is a significant financial commitment. The whole amount of the loan was paid off. Many distinct names are used to describe the fourth level, to remain financially independent in their latter years of retirement, to get to the point where this individual is 50, 55, 60, or whatever their age is, all about money. You've achieved financial stability at level 5 if your assets are sufficient to meet your annual necessary needs. Survival expenditures, not survival expenses, are things like food, water, and a previously utilized method of transportation like a car or motorcycle. Remember that this level is the first one you'd have to go through if you were laid off today, if that's what you want. Here is a terrific place to start. If this is a parody, there is a virtually no probability that it's true. If you can make ends meet on your present wage and have a spending plan that can adjust to changes in the market, you may consider yourself financially secure. There have been many different definitions offered to me, and I'm sure there will be many more. It's more than just a matter of financial security in many respects. Financial independence is achieved when your investment income surpasses your savings goals. The cash flow from your assets may sustain your everyday requirements, regardless of long-term goals, after you achieve level 9 of financial plenty. Financial abundance at level 1 refers to having enough money to live off your assets, rather than the interest you've accumulated. It's possible to see your investment returns here. It's easy to look over the fact that John and Jane, newlyweds in their early 20s, earning $30 an hour in the year 2020, had high aspirations for themselves and their future jobs, even though they were diligent workers and academically successful. When they first started out, they were just like the rest of us, and it's possible that they can even have the student loans. If they owe $5,000 in credit card debt, $4,000 in auto loan payments, and $7,000 in school loan debt, their total debt will be $16,000. A $6,800 a year payment on their debt has been paid off, and they are no longer reliant on anybody else for financial support. Financial systems and programs with a different perspective might provide an alternative plan of action. As long as the 10-level system isn't considered a financial formula, this is okay. Diehards, take note. There are a few points to keep in mind. To meet their month-to-month expenses, they'll need a total of $30,000 in savings to cover both the $5,000 and the $25,000 in emergency funds required in this scenario. Both the job market and the economy are strong at the moment. Because they are confident in the company's future, they decided to leave their emergency reserve at $8,000 in the short term. A $200 credit card payment, or 3% of their total debt, is reasonable for this family with a yearly income of $85,200 and expenses of $50,800. Student loan debt totals $700.83, while car loan debt is $500.78. In the event of an emergency, you will have $1,770 a month set aside in your emergency fund to cover costs. The two of them have recently acquired an interest in studying how to accelerate their financial independence while they are still young in order to see whether they can do it. It's a good thing that there are those who are willing to put in extra hours to make this happen. Using the $40,000, they paid off their credit card debt, acquired 2 used vehicles for $200,000 from a technician they trust, and then used the remaining $10,000 from the sale of their cars to pay off their car loans in full. Their leftover $20,000 from selling the items on Craigslist was used to pay off their mortgage. This means that John and Jane will be able to meet their objective of having an emergency fund of $40,000 in only a few months. Now that they've built up an emergency fund, they're able to pay off their automobile loan in as little as 3 months by combining the $4,060 monthly payment with the $650 monthly minimum payment. Since they sold their automobiles and made minor payments for their first 3 months, they have paid an average of $20,000 a day. John and Jane still owe $55,263 on their student loans after making only the minimum payments for the last 9 months and saving just over $4,000 from their previous auto loan installments. A large emergency savings account has been built up by John and Jane over the previous 9 months, which has allowed them to keep up their school loans. Sir John and Jane have reached the level 3 financial independence with about $5,200 a month left over after costs that they can invest, placing them on the verge of level 4, where they may finally rest and enjoy their newfound financial freedom. You don't know how long your financial freedom has lasted. When they were 23 years old, their annual cost totaled $50,000. To maintain their present quality of life at 65, they need $150,000 every year. Because of their age, that money is expected to increase for around 40 years in this hypothetical scenario. To be financially comfortable at 65, they would need to have collected $120,000 by then. John and Jane are a young married couple in their 30s. A simultaneous loss of employment would not leave one of them without a job for long. If inflation is not taken into account, they will be financially independent in 18 years and 3 months. To become financially independent in 18 years and 3 months, it will take them an average of 11 years, 9 months. To help you understand why I'm doing this, here is a more detailed explanation. Individuals that take part in this expedition do not alter their way of life in any way. They recognize that the more possessions they have, they end up closer to a minimalist lifestyle than if they had begun with a larger number of possessions to begin with. The result of this is that they wind up being minimalist because they find alternative ways to spend both their money and their time. The world as we know it has come to an end. Your financial independence may be divided into 2 phases if you own a home, one where you have no high interest loans and the other where your only loan is your mortgage and you have no other debt. you'll be able to maintain your present quality of life in retirement, even when inflation is taken into consideration. Once you have saved enough money to live comfortably, you may acquire leading fire status and then have enough money to retire comfortably. Do you keep track of your financial success in this way? What do you think about this? Please use the area given to tell us what you think. If that's the case, I'll call it a day. For now, that's all I have to say. If you know someone who might be benefit from this material, please tell them about it. Assist us start her financial revolution by becoming interested in this kind of information.